Hi, my name is Elizabeth Rimmer and I am Clinical Director for LPA London Professional Aesthetics, and this is my Wednesday Facebook Live in lockdown. And today we are going to be talking, or I'm going to be talking, there's only one of me, about 5 ways to manage your stress and also help boost your body's immunity. So, obviously, we're all in a very stressful scenario at the moment. Even if we're feeling pretty good, it's still weird. It's still, not normal life. We are feeling all kinds of different pressures, all kinds of different emotions, and it's just generally, an odd time. So today, like I say, I thought we'd move away from skin slightly, and I'm just going to relay a little bit of info that I've gleaned about ways to kind of improve your coping mechanisms that also happen to have a really good effect on your immune system, because we know that stress and physical health are very tightly related. So keeping your mental health in check is not only about kind of feeling good in a I'm coping kind of a vibe, but it's also about keeping your body physically well so that it can fight anything it comes into contact with a bit better. So that's kind of the general gist of it. So there's loads of different things that stress affects in our body, and we know that the effects of chronic stress can give us health problems basically, but there's loads of different things that affect stress generally. So things like our genetic makeup, our ability to cope with stress, our outlook on life, whether we exercise or not, how much we drink, all of the lifestyle stuff. So it's there's loads of different elements to it. It's an enormous subject, and today I'm just going to focus on some really specific stuff which hopefully is slightly different from the usual lifestyle stuff that we all kind of know. That you're meant to eat well, you're meant to exercise, you're meant to keep hydrated, and they're all super important, but these are from a slightly different angle. But they kind of resonated for me a bit, so I'm hoping they will for you as well. So here we go. Okay, so the first one we've got is practice gratitude. So practicing gratitude doesn't kind of mean necessarily walking around saying thank you for everything, although that's one way, but it's about accessing feelings of kindness, for want of a better word. So we know that kind of feeling good, feeling happy, accessing feelings of kindness will release something called dopamine in the body, which not only makes us feel good, but actually there's good evidence now that dopamine can help with your immune system. So yeah, practicing gratitude can be just sort of generally appreciating things around you, but it also can be just, as I say, kind of accessing feelings of kindness, doing nice stuff for other people just because it's nice, and that in turn will make you feel nice. What can be useful, and I've got a little nurse group that I talk to, and I've spoken on that about before, is using a journal. Writing stuff down can be a good way of doing this kind of thing. So it can just kind of, especially keeping a journal at this period in our lives, if anyone out there is already doing it, I mean, it's got to be a great time to keep a journal. It's just such a mental time in our lives. But actually keeping a journal can just be a way of kind of looking through and focusing on those good things that have made you feel good. And it just generally can be a good way of kind of processing stuff. So if you're into that kind of thing, getting yourself a really nice book, and it doesn't have to be any particular format, however you want it to be, but but it can just be a good way of kind of processing nice stuff and making yourself focus on what are the nice things that have happened, what are the good things that have happened today. Especially at the moment, you know, put on the news, you know, there's a lot of negative stuff out there and a lot of scary stuff. So it's about sort of focusing on deliberately the nicer things in life, being nice, smiling at people as you walk along the street, with your eyes, obviously, because of your mask. But that's, so practice gratitude is, like I say, it's about accessing feelings of kind of well-being, contentment, and kindness, which will trigger your dopamine, which is going to help boost your immune system. Growth mindset is the next one, and this one is talking about outlook, basically. And it's, you know, we all know people, don't we, that we see as having kind of a negative outlook. And I think all of us will, you know, we're not static, are we? We kind of go up and down with our mood. And sometimes you can catch certainly myself, I can catch myself in a negative outlook where I'm like, look at this person, that, look at this person, that. And it, you know, it's very easy to sort of look around constantly criticising and constantly seeing the negative. And again, it's kind of magnifying negative emotions which aren't particularly helpful. So a growth mindset is trying to sort of have an awareness of that and trying to adapt and choosing to look at the positive rather than focusing on the negative. So for someone like myself, I think I'm fairly okay at this, in as much as I think I've got a really good sort of self-awareness about when I get into that mindset of looking at things negatively. So if you're quite self-aware, you can focus on just trying to adapt your outlook. If you're not really that well self-aware, then again, writing stuff down can help you to kind of recognise whether something's coming from a negative emotion or a positive emotion, and then that can help you work on it. So if you're not really sure, you can sort of, you know, even go as far as kind of writing down your behaviours for the day and how they made you feel, and that will sort of give you clarity on whether they're negative or positives. So for example, for me, I could say that something like, you know, scrolling endlessly through Facebook, looking at people I don't know or barely know, and kind of wondering why I can't be them, have what they've got, look like them, you know, all of that kind of stuff is clearly, you know, if I was in any two minds, once I've written that down, it's clearly negative, it's clearly pointless, negative, doesn't make me feel good, and so not something I should be doing, as opposed to picking up the phone and calling a friend and having a really good laugh or talking about something serious or whatever. The point is that what I get out of that, as compared to scrolling through Facebook, is very, very positive. So what I also find is that I think quite often the sort of negative outlook behaviours are the ones that are sort of much easier in a way, like really low effort. And I think it's sort of the lazy side, and that's why you sort of do it as well, because they are the kind of scrolling through Facebook, lying in bed, drinking alcohol, all of those things that they're easy to tap into, and they sort of make the time pass, but actually they don't make you feel good at all. So yeah, just having more awareness about your sort of general outlook helps you then to kind of address it and recognise those behaviours when you're doing them and think, hold on a minute, I'm not doing this anymore, or I'm going to at least reduce the amount of time that I do this. So the next one is about living your dream, living your values rather than living your dream. And again, you know, this can sound a bit cheesy and a bit like, you know, how do you live your values? But the idea with this one is that, for example, if you try and think of 3 words that you would like to define you, So these are your kind of what you'd like to be seen as. And then the idea is that you can try and sort of introduce or repeat behaviours that will help to maximise these things. So for me, for example, I would say fearless, funny and fit would be my 3 words. So fearless, because I would like to be less frightened of things, put myself out of my comfort zone more, try harder, be more open-minded. So that would be something that, you know, would be the ideal version of me. So I would kind of try and work on those things. Funny just refers to sort of being more relaxed for me, allowing myself to kind of be in the moment. I'm one of those people who's quite often thinking about what's coming next, what have I got to do this afternoon, what I've got to do tonight, what am I doing tomorrow, even if I'm kind of, you know, in a lovely situation where I should be enjoying the moment. So again, it's just trying to sort of work on not doing that and being more kind of in the moment. Fit, I mean fit as in fit, not fit as in fit. But that's okay too. And that's just like, I enjoy fitness. It makes me feel really good. It always has. You've heard me talk about vanity, sanity a trillion billion times over the years, and I just think there's a massive connection, and for me it's a really important part of my life. So those are the things: fearless, funny, fit. And the challenges I've already covered a little bit. The challenges, again, so the challenges are the things that stop you from achieving your 3 values that you aspire to. So the challenges that stop me being fearless would be that I'm naturally a bit of a fanny. So it takes a lot of effort for me to be brave, and sometimes it's easier not to be because it does take a lot of effort. Funny, as I've said, is trying to stop myself always thinking about the next thing and trying to live more in the moment and committing to the sort of here and now, rather than always like, yeah, I'm having a really nice time, but I've got to get up tomorrow, I've got to, you know, whatever it is. And fit, the challenges are just like